Jason, and 4.10. That means child of the fourth child and grandchild number 10. Yeah. My grandma's smart, she taught me that. Okay, all right. My name is Jason. I am Jesse and Laurel's second child. And I want to say that God is a good God, and all good things come from God. And that's why He blessed me with my grandma.
Amen.
I wrote, I'm not going to make it through this, but bear with me. I wrote this, I started writing this poem almost 10 years ago. Yeah, no. So, I started writing this poem 10 years ago, and I thought I finished it when my grandpa passed in 2004. I wrote it for both of my grandparents, and it's called Utang na Loob. My grandma speaks, easily grabbing our attention as we gather around her. She nods her head and points her lips in the direction of my grandpa's rocking chair. He can hear us, but he doesn't say anything. Our focus remains on our grandma. Her seasoned voice and salted passion adds flavor to her slow pace, telling us stories about Grandpa's service and hardships. He had been back and forth from the Philippines to the States since a long-forgotten day. This teenage orphan already knew what depression was before Black Monday. Not a veteran of the Korean or Vietnam Wars, but through them, fighting for more than his life in World War II, unknowingly for his 58 years of beautiful marriage, 5 beloved kids, 13 grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and those yet to be. All this was ahead of him while the atrocities of his people were still in the back of his mind, hiding in sweaty, mosquito-infested mountainous caves, running like slaves from the Bataan Death March, with nothing but their faith in the Lord to keep their sanity. And as fast as it began, my grandma's story trails on. My Lola, the teacher who never retired, the orator of epic proportions compacted into 4'9" frame, the word-of-mouth historian whose unrivaled wisdom was written on each wrinkle she earned. Her memory now distorted by dementia, but the depth in her eyes allows her to hold back the ocean of tears as she looks into a distance of it. There's an invisible sepia tone photographs from times much more simple. I knew she wouldn't finish. The story isn't for us anyways. We already know how it ends. Our focus still on our grandma. She slowly gets up and goes to sit over on my grandpa's rocking chair. Back and forth, she silently hums some hymns. And I know my grandpa is there listening.
My name is Lois, and I'm Rhoda's firstborn. I feel like everyone has said everything about Nanay, and it's a reflection of all her kids, of who she was as a person, and her influence and her impact. And it's kind of like a domino effect, like firstborn and teaches generation after generation, and it's amazing to see it throughout the years that I've been here. So I am surrounded by all nurses in my immediate family. My father's a nurse, my mother's a nurse, and my brother's become one. And I'm not on that road, but I only bring this up because I was 6 years old, or 7, and I was sick. I remember I was really, really sick, and my mother goes, "We need to take you, and you need to get medicine. We're going to get you Tylenol. We're going to get you Dimetapp. I'm going to drop you off at Nunni's." I was like, "All right." So I go to therapy, and I'm watching TV, and Nunni's like, she's like, "You ready? Let's go." And I'm like, "Where are we going?" And she's like, "We're just gonna go." And I'm like, "But I'm supposed to take medicine." And she's like, "No, just go." I had no idea. I was like 6 or 7. I didn't know where we were going. And she had this epic walk. I'm talking like 2 miles. She's like this old lady. She's like, "Yeah, let's just go." She's striking. So we're basically walking through these rocks, through the cave, in Terrapin, in this big, large neighborhood for days, for maybe like an hour and a half. And she literally just goes, "Breathe in God's air and just walk with me. Just breathe it in, Lois." And I'm like, "All right." So I like follow and I copy her, and she's like, "Breathe it all in and just take it in. Like, you don't need medicine, right?" So I'm like, "Cool, like, Nana, you're just so strong and you're so good." And she was very like spiritual, and like Drew said, she's very like adventurous, and Janelle said like she always went on these crazy walks. So I come home with her with this 2-hour walk, or whatever, how long it was, and my mother picks me up, and my mother goes, "So did you like get your medicine? Are you feeling better?" I was like, "No, I just walked with Nana and I'm better." And she like looked at Nana and she's like, "You didn't give my kid any medicine? Like, you're supposed to give my kid this." And Nana was like, "She's better. I told she breathed God's air." And from then, I still don't really take medicine. I follow that ritual from Nanai, and I also follow the one thing that is very rare of Nanai is her endless smile, and that has taught me gracefully to always be kind and always smile. That's it. You would never see her frustrated, like everyone said. You would never see her like mad or sad. She would just be very just to herself, but she'd smile. And that's the one thing that I have to say. Thank you, Grumma, for teaching me that.
I'm Nathan, Baki's youngest son, and one thing that Grumma has, like, for all the 25 years I've known her, was reflecting in God's beauty. And you would ask her, "Oh, how do you like these flowers, Grumma?" And she would always respond, "It's beautiful." "How do you like church this afternoon, Grumma?" "Oh, it was a beautiful message. It was beautiful." And it was something that always came to mind. And one thing I learned from her is God's perfect creation is always beautiful, and it's something that I try to look for. And she's always taught me is the beauty in everything. Even in death, you reflect on life, and all you can be is thankful for God's beauty. And yeah, thank you.